In the past few years, we have said goodbye to some of the greatest baseball players of this generation, and for me, the stars that made me fall in love with the game. One in particular being Miguel Cabrera. Throughout his whole career, he was one of the most feared hitters in baseball, won multiple MVP awards, and his combination of power with 511 career home runs, while also hitting for average with a career 306 figure, is something that is not common in today's game. With all this in mind, he will undoubtedly be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and in today's video, I want to go over one of his often overlooked accomplishments, because it's something we hadn't seen since 1967 and probably won't see again for quite a while. Cabrera hails from Venezuela and at the age of just 16 years old, signed as an amateur free agent with the, at the time, Florida Marlins. He quickly rose through the ranks of the minor leagues and started the 2003 season at AA, where he went on to produce 42 extra base hits in 69 games and hit an incredible .365 average with an over 1,000 OPS. Catching the eye of Marlins GM Larry Beinfest, and he was called up on June 20th to make his major league debut against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. And in quite storybook fashion, he hit a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 11th inning off of Al Levine. From that point onwards, he was a regular in the lineup and went on to produce 35 extra base hits, knock in 62 runs, and had an OPS just a tad shy of 800. His added spark to the lineup helped propel the Marlins, who were 12th best in the National League with a 35 and 39 record at the time, to the 3rd best and a spot in the division series against the Barry Bonds-led San Francisco Giants. During the series, Miggy wasn't anything special, going hitless in the first 3 games, but in Game 4 he went 4 for 5 with 2 doubles and 3 RBIs in the series clinching win. Then in the NLCS, he broke out. In the first game of the series, he took part in a 3-homer inning for the Marlins to help them come back from 4-0 down to win Game 1 9-8. And in the next few games, he continued to hit with the bat, posting multi-hit games in Game 2 and 3, and had a 1-for-4 effort in Game 4. But they lost all 3 of these games and were down 3-1 in the series. However, thanks to a complete game shutout from Josh Beckett, they were alive for Game 6, where timely hitting and once again solid pitching saw them take the series to the 7th game. This is where we saw Miggy shine. Hitting cleanup, he took Kerry Wood deep in the first inning to put the Marlins up 3-0 before they even had the chance to step up to the plate. Later on, now down 5-4, he hit an RBI ground out to put them level. At the end of the night, he was 1 for 5, but with his homer and ground out, he knocked in 4 of the Marlins' 9 runs and helped them come back from a 3-1 deficit, an extremely difficult feat to overcome. Now, in the World Series, he didn't go on to perform in the same way, but he did have one memorable moment. In Game 4, down 2-1, Miggy came up to the plate against Roger Clemens, a man who at the time was double his age. But he got the best of him and sent the 7th pitch of the at-bat into the stands to open the scoring for the Marlins, who went on to win the game in 11 innings. His homer sparked the 3-game winning streak the Marlins went on to win the series and their 2nd world championship in 7 seasons, capping off an extremely impressive rookie campaign for the young Venezuelan. And in the years following, while the Marlins didn't remain competitive, he went on to become one of the game's most feared players, always topping 100 runs and RBIs, around 30 homers, a .315 batting average, and an over 900 OPS between 2004 and 2007. But for the small market club Miami were, and well still are, they couldn't keep him, and following the 2007 season, he was traded to the Detroit Tigers, who were coming off a season in which they took a massive step back from their World Series appearance in 2006. And while Miggy didn't help the Tigers return to the playoffs until 2011, he continued his upward trajectory as one of the game's best hitters. Between 2008 and 2011, he at the time set his career highs for homers at 37, RBIs with 127, and managed to top 1,000 OPS in back-to-back seasons in 2010 and 11. At the time, it was pretty safe to assume that these 2 years would not be topped, but he topped them. And as mentioned, he accomplished what no one had done since Carl Yastrzemski did so in 1967. That is, win the offensive Triple Crown. This feat is done by leading the league in batting average, home runs, and runs batted in. Miggy did this by narrowly beating out Josh Hamilton by 1 for homers, and it could have very well gone either way. On September 28th, just 5 games left in the season, he was sitting on 42 homers, and Hamilton at 43. but with a 3-run homer off of Alex Burnett on the 29th and another one against the Royals on October 1st, he overtook Hamilton for the lead with just a couple games left, and that's exactly how the line finished, with Hamilton going homerless to end the season. Next up, Miggy again beat Hamilton, this time for RBIs, edging him out by a comfortable 11 runs. And finally, he beat out Mike Trout for the lead in average, but this too could have gone either way. Entering October, Trout actually had the lead in this category with a 336 average compared to Miggy's 329. But in the final month, he overtook him thanks to his solid September and beat Trout by just .04 for the lead in average. This season by Miggy not only saw him accomplish a feat that hadn't been done since the late 1960s, but he also took home the MVP award, beating out rookie sensation Mike Trout. This accomplishment is truly once in a generation, and while there have been some players that have come close to joining him on this exclusive list, like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in 2021 and Paul Goldschmidt in 2022, it still seems far-fetched to think anyone will do it in the next few years, because as the game shifts more and more to power hitters posting lower averages these days, it may take another 60 years for a new addition to be made to this club. And as I said at the beginning of the video, Miguel Cabrera was one of the players I grew up watching, and to now see him retire from the MLB is going to make the league feel a lot different to not only myself, but I bet to you too. So as we welcome the new faces in the game and say goodbye to the old, I just want to say thank you, Miggy, for all the good times over the years. Alright, that wraps it up for this video. If you made it all the way to the end, then make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more awesome baseball content just like this, and I will see you in the next one.